did Kilian knock out of the park with their two new Angel Share releases. The flankers we're going to be touching on are Angel Share on the rocks. There. I know the label is kind of faded, so hopefully you all can see that. Got a little baby dent in that sample there, 2 mLs. And then we have Angel Share Paradis. There is that one there. Hopefully you all can see it. Go. Another little baby dent in this one as well. But let's go ahead and talk about them. The first flanker we're going to touch on is Angel Share Paradis, the one that came out earlier this year. Now with Angel Share Paradis, you got some notes of raspberry, cognac, and then in the mid, you got things such as caramel and tonka bean. You maybe could get a little touch of rose as well. And then last but not least, in that base of the scent, you could get things such as oak, sandalwood, praline, and then also to vanilla. Vanilla's in that base as well. But with this scent, what its whole vocal point are going to be those fruits. It's going to be that raspberry front and center. I will say with first blast of this scent, this is going to be that raspberry bomb, that fruity bomb with a lot of sweetness in here. This one, it also has another note of liqueur, and I could see that, but that is very up close. Like I sprayed them both on my hand today. I got On the Rocks over here, and then I got Paradis over here. And with Paradis, I will say that this one does, if you put your nose up in that very 5-10 minute opening, has a different liquor facet. And I will say the raspberry, the way it comes across, very pungent, very strong. I have noticed something with Kilian's openings with these two scents. They kind of drift towards that designer opening in a sense that it wants to be pronounced. It wants to be there. It wants to shine. It really wants to grab your attention. A lot of designer releases do that, I will say. To really, when you were sampling them, trying them out, like, oh my gosh, this is so good, yada, 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 get you on that first impression. They think that first impression is the best. And Kilian has done that with these two scents, I will say. But a little bit more back to Paradis. That raspberry is going to come off as syrupy sweet. At the heart of the scent, you are going to get Angel Share. It's there. It's front and center. But this one, again, it reminds me of kind of like how Le Male Elixir Absolute did their flanker with Le Male Elixir. The fragrances do not smell the same, but they took that original DNA, they just threw some fruits in there. Like that one's got plum, for example. This one's got raspberry, and it is on top of that Angel Share DNA, which is the vocal point. It's the forefront of the scent. It does not go away. The raspberry from opening to dry down is there. I will say as it's drying down more and more, it does fade away and you're getting more of that Angel Share kind of apple pie-esque type of scent. Warm spice. This is warm spice through and through, but in that opening you are going to get a lot of sweetness, fruits, and then also too you get that alcoholic tinge with that cognac, with that liqueur. More of that cognac than that liqueur, especially in the air. Now, coming in with the whole scent here, as it dries down, it's going to get more woody. You're going to get more of that oak. And I will say the way the oak comes across, which I get this with the original Angel Share too, it's more of that oak barrel essence, kind of like this has been sitting with some raspberries in it for a long time. It's been macerating. And this is what you get. You get a strong, prominent kind of raspberry liqueur type scent or drink overall. It puts me into that mindset. Like I always think about those wooden barrels, pictures you see on commercials and all that jazz, or just pictures on Google, for example, of just some barrels lined up. That's what this reminds me of. The barrels lined up in the building, and you got the drink in there. You got your whiskey, you got your cognac, whatever's in that barrel. That's what this one reminds me here. I will say this one is unisex, leaning feminine for me. I feel like the OG Angel Share is very unisex, right in the middle. It doesn't lean masculine or feminine. This one's a little bit feminine just because of that fruity kick. And I do get that tonka bean. That tonka bean is going to give the scent a little powderiness as well. And even though it's not an official note, I still get that cinnamon, and I think it's from that warm spice that this fragrance has in it. Again, going back to that original Angel Share DNA, kind of apple pie-esque, cinnamon-esque, cognac, liqueur-esque type of scent. But this one in the base has all that front and center. It's just, again, they just threw some raspberries in it. That's all they really did with this. I will say this is on projection and performance and longevity, all that jazz. This is a monster. I'm getting about off skin, I would say anywhere between 12 to 16 hours beast mode type of scent off close. I went to sleep with this scent on, and I was smelling it 2 days after. It is crazy. It's crazy off clothes, off fabric. That's where I was getting at, not off skin. Off skin, it was about 12 to 16 hours, I will say, on that longevity. Now, projection, I'm getting a solid 8 to 9 hours on projection. This is a beast mode type of scent. I will say this is a more fall and wintertime scent. I would probably not wear this in that summertime. It is too headache inducing, doesn't have really any freshness to it. It's very heavy, dense, warm spice, ambery, vanilla type of scent that could cause headaches, especially even when I sprayed a few sprays on. I could see how this one could be too cloying for some people, so you got to keep that in mind. I will say any occasion for this, not any occasion, for an occasion I meant to say, for this scent here, Angel Share Paradis, this is gonna be one that's more focused to nighttime for me. Could wear this going on a night out of town, going on a date, going to a formal occasion. This one would work well, but like I always mention, you can wear your scents wherever. I'm just telling you where I would kind of picture this scent kind of in the forefront. More of a nighttime, anytime event in the nighttime, maybe late afternoon too as well. Like it isn't fully dark yet. You could probably wear this as well. I could see that being going into that transition, being a nice scent to pull out and have on your skin, on your clothes when you go out or whatever you are doing. This isn't a scent that's going to be comforting, I will say. This is a projector. This is one that says, hey, this is a statement maker. Like this has good sillage. I sprayed it on. My mom was like, are you still in the room? I'm like, no, I'm not. I've been long gone. So this scent does stay in the air for a little bit after you leave. So it's a sillage monster as well, which this has a lot of similarities to the OG. So going down to that, is this redundant? I would say yes. If you have the OG and you really like that one, there's not a necessarily need to have both. But I will say if you enjoy that fruitiness of the DNA, like fragrances take the fruitiness and then put it into that original DNA and mix it up and then throw it at you, then hey, definitely check this out. If you like the OG Angel Share, you're probably going to like this one. And you're probably going to like that raspberry twist with it, that fruitiness that this adds here. It doesn't really amp up any of the other qualities such as the vanillas, the ambers, the warm spices. It amps up that fruity sweetness, and I will say it's less gourmand than the OG, so if you're not really vibing with the gourmands, then this one here has that raspberry syrupy kind of sweetness. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this scent. But this scent is expensive. I think it's around $400, $500 USD, if I remember right. So you got to keep that in mind when we're grading Angel Share Paradis here. And I will say with the scent Angel Share Paradis, I'm going to be giving it maybe around an 8.2, 8.3. Could be bumping up to an 8.5. You know, I always like to say with my scents, I give them a few wears and then I keep coming back to them, and they could always change. They could grow on you more and more. I will say this was one that had to grow on me. I wasn't really vibing with the raspberry as much, but I really do enjoy it. It is smooth, but I will say because of how loud and how pungent this fragrance is, it could come across kind of a little screechy to you right in the opening. The opening is where I get that screechiness, and I think it's because of that raspberry sweetness blending with the rest of the spices, the ambers, the vanillas, the woodiness that this scent has. But I will say when this fragrance is drying down more and more, you're going to get more closer to the OG Angel Share, so keep that in mind. That raspberry is still there, prominent throughout the whole scent, but you're going to get more of that cinnamon, spicy, woody, vanilla, amber-esque type of fragrance with that cognac in the back, kind of along with the raspberry. The cognac's going to be a little bit more prominent than the raspberry in that dry down of the scent, but just keep that in mind. But yeah, Angel Share Paradis, 8.2, 8.3, definitely here where I'm at in the US, this is the time to be pulling this bad boy out. So definitely going to be rocking it more and more in this fall and winter time, put this 2 ml through its paces. That is Angel Share Paradis. Let's go ahead and hop into the next flanker, which is going to be Angel Share on the Rocks. Again, sorry about the misprint on the label there, but hopefully you all can see that name there. But for Angel Share on the Rocks, some notes you could get in this scent, you're going to get some grapefruit, you could get some bergamot, you could get that cognac, aldehydes, also some tonka bean, then also too some vanilla as well, and some myrrh, all mixing in with this scent. Also some accords with the scent that your nose could pick up on when you smell it. It's going to be citrus, aldehydic, or aldehydes, I guess you could say. Warm and fresh spice. I will say that fresh spice is going to be more than the warm spice. The warm spice is reigned back in this scent. Also woody, balsamic, and then also aromatic with this one. This one, I will say, is for the people that like the fresher take on a flanker of a DNA, for example. This one is not syrupy sweet like Paradis. It bare bones, if you broke it down, it is an Angel Share. You can tell it's an Angel Share. It does have that cinnamon kind of warm spice-esque, apple pie-esque type of, with the cognac in there, but that is fully reined back. This is an aldehydic bomb, and that's what takes front and center. You do get that very prominent. Think about both of these scents, like Paradis and On the Rocks, like layers per se. If you had that on the top of Paradis, it would be raspberry, and then after that, kind of have the OG Angel Share DNA. With this one, this is going to be aldehydes and grapefruit at the very top, and then if you peel that back, you got the OG Angel Share there in that base. But this tonka bean too is there, it's present. This is going to be that powdery tonka bean again. Not much powder though. Very rarely I get that with this scent. And also Paradis, you don't really get that powderiness from the tonka bean as well. But this one, tonka bean's more reined back. I get a little bit more of the vanilla as this fragrance dries down than in the other Paradis in that scent. The vanilla comes out, and I think that's where a lot of the sweetness is coming from, is that vanilla. I do get a lot more fresh spice with this here. I will say you do get that warm spice feeling with it, and I think that is contributing to like a cinnamon type of note, but it's not too much. Again, like I mentioned, this is got the Angel Share DNA in it, and it's prominent, but that aldehydes, really got to like your aldehydes. I feel like the use of the aldehydes is more like, again, not how these fragrances smell completely different, but Dior Homme Sport 2021 or 2022, however you want to pronounce that one, the aldehydes come across to my nose very similar to that, which I really enjoy. They come off very smooth. This isn't as loud and as pungent as the other two, I will say. Angel Share on the Rocks here is going to be more your fresher, kind of reined back take. But don't get me wrong, in that opening, it is strong. You are going to get a big blast of that cognac, grapefruit, and aldehydes. All three of those very front and center with kind of like a woody base. And again, I don't really get that oak barrel vibe with this, but if I had to guess on a woody note, it would probably be oak, and then probably something else like a sandalwood, like in Paradis too. But I get a little bit more of that oak feel in that deep dry down when it comes to this. That grapefruit, I will say, it's not something that's going to be grindy, and it's not something that is really sweet. It's kind of smooth. It's kind of redefined. It's kind of fresh. This one reminds me here of taking like a lemon slice, or I guess any type of citrus slice, putting it on your drink and kind of rimming it around the glass and getting that kind of citrus tinge when you take a drink of your alcohol choice or whatever. That's what this one reminds me of here. For that opening, again, going back, this has kind of got that designer-esque opening. Very strong in that opening. Not as strong as Paradis, but you know it's there. It's prominent front and center. But that grapefruit is well blended. It takes away from that sweetness a little bit and kind of gives it a little bit of that balsamic feel, because it lets the other kind of notes come out in the scent. It kind of brings back that apple pie, cinnamon spice type of vibe with it, and kind of gives it more of that fresh spice, more of that citrus, balsamic kind of feel with the scent. And I really appreciate that. I really enjoy it. I will say between the two, Paradis and On the Rocks, On the Rocks is a little bit more different than Paradis for me. I feel like they've tweaked it a little bit more than that Paradis. Overall, on the performance, longevity, and projection of the scent, I'd probably say you're going to get anywhere on the longevity side of things, 6 to 8 hours, so average. And then on the performance, that is where it's waffled. So on the projection side of things, it waffled for me. So sometimes I maybe got 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes I got 6 hours. That performance varied. So anywhere between 4 to 6 on that projection, and then 6 to 8 on that longevity of the scent. And then after the 8 hours, it's not one of those scents where you could just smell like the woods. Usually you could smell in the deep, deep dry down still on your skin. This one dissipates. I haven't smelled it after that for 8 hours and 30-minute mark. I put my nose really close up, can't smell it. But I will say this is a very refreshing type of scent too. It's the way the grapefruit comes across. I don't really get much of that bergamot. I think it's maybe more of a supporting role, but it really lifts up that grapefruit. And this has got like a really zingy kick with that aldehydic bomb. You gotta like your aldehydes. You gotta like your grapefruit the way it comes across. But this really does paint a picture of a grapefruit, like a solid grapefruit, holding it in my hand, just seeing it, maybe slicing it open. That's what this reminds me of. Like I mentioned, it's not really sweet at all, how the grapefruit comes across, but it's not really grindy at all. It's kind of, I guess, just overall picturing the grapefruit, not tasting it, just looking at it and kind of cutting it open and having the grapefruit juice on your hand. That's why this one reminds me of very juicy, very zingy, very uplifting type of scent here with the Angel Share on the Rocks, which is a pleasant change. This one I feel like is unisex, perfectly unisex, maybe leaning a little bit more masculine just because of that aldehydic kick this has got and the way the woods come across in this scent and the vanilla, the sweetness. This is a vanilla, amber, warm, fresh, spicy type of scent at its heart. With the Angel Share DNA, of course, so a woman could pull this off fairly as well as a male, which is very impressive. They have done that with those two scents. All three of the scents in the line, I would say, are unisex, but the two new ones, you could pick and choose and say it's leaning one way or the other. With this one, it's leaning masculine here, Angel Share on the Rocks. This is a one that I could see you wearing any season, fall, winter, summer, spring. I will say in the summertime, this could be a little cloying to people just because of that Angel Share OG DNA in it, but it does have enough of freshness, enough citrusness, the way it comes across, that this could work pretty well, I will say, in the kind of higher heat situations if you had to choose the three to wear overall. And for me, I keep coming back to this one. I keep whiffing it, smelling it. When I smell it in the air, I'm like, oh my gosh, I keep coming back to that grapefruit, that cognac mix combining. It's just nice. It's well done, and I really enjoy my aldehydes, so that's probably another reason I come back. And the aldehydes give it, like, again, that kind of taken away from that sweetness. So you are going to get some sweetness with this, but it's just not as prominent as the other two. So if you don't really like your sweet type of scents, check out On the Rocks, because that kind of takes away from that. You still are going to get it, don't get me wrong. I get more of that amber woody essence with this scent as it dries down more and more than the sweetness, but you do get that sweetness from the vanilla, from the tonka bean in this scent here. I will say for me, this one is about an 8.5 to an 8.75. Like, this one's reaching up to 9 territory for me. But again, the price can be kind of iffy. I would say if you wanted to check out both, this one would be less redundant than Paradis. I feel like Paradis and the OG Angel Share are going to be wearing in the same situation, same place, same weather scenario. But with this one here, this is going to be a versatile Angel Share, and you could wear this, rock this wherever. Date night's going to work well, night or day. For me, when it puts me in the mindset, I might rock this a little bit more in that daytime in the winter. It kind of puts me more in that mindset there. But you can wear this in the night. Wear your scents wherever you want. Night or day, date night, going running errands. The only time I would probably avoid wearing these two scents, just because of that cognac feel, the booze type of feel, would be at work. Of course, you don't want to come into work and people thinking, "Oh my gosh, he reeks of liquor. Has he been drinking all night?" Like, you want to avoid that. All right, so maybe work is probably the occasion that I would probably avoid the two scents. But other than that, I feel like you can rock this one wherever. Angel Share on the Rocks. And definitely, it's like the name implies, this is, I feel like, on the rocks, like having that cognac on the rocks. It really does kind of that zingy freshness. I get like a watery tone with this one as well. Thinking about that name, like, I don't really pick it up in the scent, but when I picture it, I could see like ice cubes in a glass with a cognac. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't really want to say this has got like a water facet to it at all, but just if I picture it in my mind where this scent takes me, I could see a drink on the rocks, of course. But that is my review of both of the Angel Share flankers. Let me know what you think in the comments down below of both of them. Do you like Paradis? Do you like On the Rocks more? Or do you like both? Or do you like the OG? Do you still prefer the OG and you aren't going to check these out? Very curious to hear in the comments. I appreciate you all spending a little bit of time in your day learning more about the Angel Share flankers, Paradis, and On the Rocks. Before you go, though, Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Means a lot to me, helps me out a lot. And at the end of the video, there will be my fragrance playlist. There'll be things such as fragrance challenges, first impressions, more reviews. And then also too, last but not least, there will be a video that the algorithm thinks that you need to check out on my channel. So go ahead and check that one out as well. And a little fun fact before you all leave too. Angel Share was one of the very first fragrances I did my review on the channel with. That was when the channel was first starting. So have to go back and watch that one out and see how well it's held up. But yeah, Angel Share was one of the very first fragrances I ever reviewed on the channel, the OG one, of course. So little fun fact for the channel. But with that being said, I will see you all in the next video. I hope you all stay well, be healthy, stay positive, take care.